Hello everyone. So I recently did a video where I talked about the governor of Niger State where he was seen kneeling down before Mr. Tinubu, and I put in a sort of like a backstory towards that a few days ago this same Niger State governor was actually agreeing and praising Mr. Peter Obi, where he even called him his boss, and there were quite people who were there were a lot of permutations towards the fact that that particular statement that he made, one in calling Mr. Peter Obi his boss, and also agreeing with all the things that Mr. Peter Obi has said in terms of moving the country forward, that might have angered some people in certain quarters, especially from his party, and so now what we are seeing, so that whole kneeling down picture comes, but there is a report here right now that says that, by the way, I'm going to put the video, the link to the video that I did in the description center section. Governor Muhammadu Bago of Niger State has urged the federal government to enforce censorship measures on social media platforms in Nigeria due to concerns surrounding their misuse, according to him. This is what he's concerned about. Parallel Facts is reporting that the governor's appeal comes in the wake of a widely circulated photo depicting him kneeling to greet Bola Tinubu, which gained traction on various social media platforms. Expressing his views, Governor Bago stressed the importance of regulating content on these platforms as means to combat misinformation. Please, if you're still watching, kindly subscribe, share and like. Don't forget to do that, and you can also click on the notification button so that whenever I share videos you'll be able to get that. We actually share like 3 times in a day, so you stay on top of that. He emphasized the significance of promoting balanced and factual reporting, particularly by traditional journalists. Governor Bago made this comment during an event where he was honored as the Grand Patron of the Nigeria Union of Journalists (NUJ) Niger State Council. In his address, he emphasized journalists' pivotal role as guardians of society, urging them to uphold objectivity in their reporting. His words: as the fourth estate of the realm, journalists should carry out their duties as watchdogs of society and ensure objectivity in their reports. I call for the introduction of censorship on social media content to checkmate the spread of fake news and hate speeches. So one of the things that social media has done is that social media has democratized media. This is something that I always, talk about, the fact that social media has democratized media, in the words of Chude Jidonwu. And so government that used to be in control of information and how information is disseminated, especially with the traditional media, the print and electronic media, where they will have more control, either control as they own them or control in the fact they are the major customers, like we've had in Nigeria. Now it's no longer that way because they don't have that control over social media, and people are able to report and put out their own issue on the table, put the agenda on the table, and discuss everything that needs to be discussed. So they are more worried about that. The fact for me is that the Niger State governor should worry more, instead of him thinking about social media being regulated, should worry more about himself. First of all, Mr. Tinubu, his anger should be directed to Mr. Tinubu, who got him in that position where he was, kneeling down on both knees, with his hands outstretched, and the flippant manner and way that Mr. Tinubu was holding his hand. When you even see that, when you're appreciative on a normal. For me personally, it's something that I don't like it. I hate it when anybody kneel for me, even like the African contest where you are told to kneel for no, I don't like anybody doing that. I was brought up to do that. I didn't bring up my children to do that. In Islam, it's wrong. You don't kneel for anybody. You only kneel to pray. You understand? You shake hands, eyeball to eyeball. That's the Islamic ruling. So I brought my kids up in that way. They will respect you, but they're not going to go on both knees or on their knees or whatever. So here we are, and then but when somebody is doing that to you, usually there's a bit of, you feel, oh, okay, as in you feel a sense of, I'm trying to find the word, whether respected, but you just feel someone is doing something. But the way Mr. Tinubu was standing was in a very flippant manner, with I think even slightly looking in another direction. So his anger should be directed, one, at Mr. Tinubu, who got him in that position, and secondly at the fact that it was Mr. Tinubu's people who took that picture, who put out that picture on social media. It wasn't people on social media that went into it, because that was in the villa, that was in some offices, so people outside were not in there. It was his people. It was either his people and Mr. Tinubu's people, and sometimes I don't know whether they allow them, his people, to bring in cameras or whatever. So he should direct his anger to the person who has tried to humiliate him, instead of him directing anger to people who are just commenting on what has been put out. But you know, normally what you have in Nigeria is that a lot of people would try to, oppress those that they feel are below them, and will never take on those that are above them. I see like a Niger State governor. Niger State is one of the 36 federating units that make up Nigeria. In short, the governor of Niger State was voted for. Mr. Tinubu was not even voted for. He rigged his way into office. Even if it's a legitimate president, you all have the same rights. You have your right in your state. So why are you going there to go kneel before someone? And if you kneel before someone, own it. If that's what you want to do, if that's your way of showing respect, if that's the way you think you want to govern, feel free to own it. Don't come now. You're trying to blame people on social media. You're trying to now say that, oh, they should censor social media. Social media has just been their main thing, because they want everybody not to have a voice, everybody not to have an outlet where they can express themselves and they will be heard. They want us to go back to what we used to have in the 70s, where government controlled all media. Well, that's not going to be the case. And even if they don't know, this whole thing, almost a good number of all of these APC people, whether governors, whether people in certain roles, they've all been calling for this censorship. What they do not understand is that even if you like, go ahead and say, oh, it's not gonna, you're gonna shut it down, you're gonna ban it or whatever. People simply use a VPN. That's I think it's called virtual provider network, right? VPN. They'll simply go and use that, and guess what will happen? Nigerian issue will begin to trend all over the world. Before, when we are talking about one thing, instead of only us here hearing it, the whole world will hear it, and they'll be calling they'll be calling them that are in government, even the illegitimate government, and asking them what's going on. And of course, shows these people, they feel more embarrassed by the people outside knowing what they're doing, by actually Nigerians making the marks on them. So I don't get what all of this is all about. I think the thing that the Niger State governor should focus on is on why did Mr. Tinubu and his people decide to humiliate him in that way. And then he allowed himself to be humiliated also in that, because I'm sure nobody hit his leg to put him down and put his knees down. He decided to put those knees down, and he decided to, show it out there. Thank you, everyone. Please, if you've not subscribed, please kindly do that, and also share, like, and you can put on the notification button. Thank you. Bye.